Over the weekend, there appeared to be a small but vicious movement to scare people into selling. On Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube, we saw a whole bunch of comments state that there was going to be a massive sell-off of AMC and GME. These comments seemed to randomly pop up in the most random situations to such degree that it was a no-brainer who was behind them. We have often talked about how hedge funds' business model and tactics have for the most part been uncovered and anticipated. I have often mentioned and tried to let people know that it was a matter of time before hedge funds did something unexpected, something random to catch us off guard. This was the very thing I anticipated: a heist of the people's stock in an attempt to create chaos, confusion, and a panic sell-off. Yet, amidst the chaos, it appears that the plan actually backfired. AMC experienced 4 times the buy-order volume flow, and GME experienced 2 times the buy-order volume flow. More people took today as a chance to buy more stock and average down than selling. This implies a couple of things. 1. Social media groups are becoming effective in spreading information and forming a huge surmountable opposition that hedge funds can't compete with. The only reason we went down today is because of naked phantom shares, which means fake shares printed and dumped in the market to dip the price. Barely anyone was selling today. 2. The model of business is not working. The more the stock drops, the more people buy it. There is a growing divergence in the effectiveness of the methods that used to work once, right? Before, they would scare retail investors by dumping the price and causing a massive sell-off. Now, people are keenly aware of this tactic and instead opt out to buy even more shares. 3. This will not suffice hedge funds. Expect more randomness in the coming days and weeks, as the desperation of their impending doom nears. I try to alert as much as I come across, but there will be plenty of sketchy stuff going on, and it is important that you guys are up to date. Because of this, it is important that you guys become more engaged with good research and posts you come across. Instead of just reading through or listen to videos and clicking off, it is more important than ever to at least like the video and leave a positive comment. A new hedge fund strategy is to fill comment sections through bots with negative comments to create doubt and fear. The only way we can counter this is by becoming vocal and attacking back by engaging with good content. The strength of our community lies in the success and effectiveness of our strategies. Our strategy right now is to spread good information and due diligence, and the way you can contribute to this is by liking and sharing this good information. Hedge funds' attempted heist attack on AMC and GME can be considered a colossal failure, as those phantom naked shares they printed were bought up by retail investors with no intention to sell. I can only imagine the chaotic sense of disappointment and despair taking place in Wall Street. Now, over the last couple of days I have seen a very small but growing concern regarding the squeeze. Fears of a government interference and a sabotage of our squeeze are starting to run a bit rampant in our community. I wanted to put down fears of this at once. No, the government will not prevent the squeeze of AMC and GME. They have never stopped it. There is no incentive to them doing so, because in the event that a bunch of apes get rich off of this, they get a ton of the capital back in the form of taxes. In the past there has also been squeezes and the government has never actually interfered, sabotaged, or prevented one. Listen, I understand the frustration and doubt you place on the SEC and other governing bodies as they routinely fail to keep the game balance. However, for them to actively side with one party over the other would cause a colossal sell-off all over the market, and the implications and effects of this would potentially cripple the stock market as a whole, and due to this they wouldn't even dare do something like that. Keep in mind that now cryptocurrency is available, and stocks now have serious competition. The government no longer has a monopoly on how people decide to grow their money, since they contend with a decentralized platform. Remember also that hedge fund firms aren't FDIC insured. If hedge funds went under and they needed a bailout from the government, as we saw in 2008, I can see that happen. But that would mean you still get paid for your patience in the stock, and it doesn't prevent any squeeze. If anything, it guarantees it. Do not let your mind play games with you and doubt whisper negative unreliable ideas. The squeeze that is bound to happen cannot and will not be stopped by the government unless they are planning on becoming obsolete and having people close their accounts and instead opt to crypto only, destroying the economy in the process. And lastly, before we go over today's performance, we have a ton of ground to cover in regards to a new update in addition to the DTCC proposed amendments we have talked about. Guys, the DTCC is not playing around anymore. After going through the updated proposal, it appears that they are going to require even more liquidity from hedge funds as soon as these proposals take effect. It appears they are super serious about what is about to take place and are not willing to run any risks with them. The new proposals also suggest that we could see the changes start taking effect as soon as next week. This explains the desperate attempt by hedge funds to randomly attack GME and AMC this morning. The noose on their necks is getting tighter and tighter, and they are becoming more frantic by the day. I want to be clear, the changes are happening solely with SRNSCC 2021-801. It appears the government and ruling bodies are also all hands on deck, as they seem to be readying themselves up for the squeeze and the impending effects that will cause overall. I will now start talking about the performance we experienced today with GME and AMC and what this means for where we can head to for the rest of the week. However, keep in mind that most of this analysis is based on tool and my own discretion of what is most likely to happen. Because hedge funds are operating under a different set of rules and guidelines, do not be surprised if my predicament is not exactly perfect. That is why I try to give a range of probability rather than a certainty of where we will move, as these two stocks are being more manipulated than any other at the moment. With that said, let's talk about AMC first. AMC started pre-market as high as 10.30, implying that the stock was going to move very bullishly throughout the day. It consolidated between 10 and 10.15 throughout most of the pre-market hours. Upon market opening, the stock experienced a huge dip that wasn't natural. It appears hedge fund printers were going clutch and printing naked shares non-stop, as the attack lasted all the way until noon, dipping the price to 9.61. Throughout the rest of the day, it seemed to consolidate mostly between 9.65 and 9.80. Around 3 p.m., AMC appeared to be close to testing and breaking the resistance wall, which is when hedge funds and shorters took to action and attacked yet again. However, this attack didn't really do anything else but cause a surge in bullish volume, bringing the price to a close at 9.71. I expect pre-market tomorrow AMC will be trading around 9.60 and 9.75 range. I do expect the price to test resistance at some points, as it is currently oversold as the RSI indicates. If another batch of random attacks doesn't occur, you can expect AMC to move comfortably over $10 again tomorrow. If another batch of attacks occur, however, you can expect a dip to 9.40 based on previous historical performance. The price seems to be trading pretty well after hours, which implies the stock really wants to gap up over double digits again. Do not be scared, and if you attempt to buy AMC, you might want to buy around 11 p.m. to 1 p.m. throughout the days, as this time frame appears to be when the stock is historically weaker. With that said, let's bring over GME chart. GameStop started pre-market even more bullish than AMC, slowly moving up to break that 178 resistance wall. However, with the market opening, GME experienced an attack. GameStop has become more attack resistance, however, and actually started recovering from it in an ascending triangle to break over 178 again, when hedge funds stepped back in and attacked once again. The price was barely brought down, as it only dipped to 159.61. It consolidated only a little bit before it started rising up again, moving as high at 164.07. GME then was attacked in the last hour, but it barely did anything, as the stock closed with a strong 162.20. It is incredibly interesting that after hours, GME had a single-minute surge almost reaching the VWAP line, showing the stock is massively oversold and filled with naked shorts. When GME squeezes, it is going to be historical. I already bought my popcorn bags. Tomorrow I expect GME to trade pre-market between a range of 160 and 165, with a strong inclination to break that resistance wall. If another batch of attacks happen, expect the price to dip to a possible 158. However, if GME is left mostly alone as efforts to dip the price of AMC take over, then expect GME to move up to 175 again. I want to thank you for making it to the end of the video. Remember, please like the video and let me know if the dip in the morning freaked out you. Tell me, what will you do with the money of GME and AMC when they squeeze? As always, follow me on Twitter, and please do consider supporting the channel and pledging support on my Patreon. Thank you for coming and watching my video, and I will see you tomorrow.